As the Chinese regime increases trade relations with other countries, the worsening situation of human rights in the country is also becoming more prominent. This week, the Canadian government has set up an office that will examine the issue of religious freedom around the world, and the suppression of people of belief in China got a specific mention by Prime Minister Stephen Harper.
Chinese human rights activists applauded the Canadian government for establishing its Office of Religious Freedom. Almost 2 years after it was announced, Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper unveiled the office in Toronto on Tuesday. It will deal in countries like Iraq, Egypt, Pakistan, Iran, and others with a history of religious suppression. Given examples of from around the world, Harper made specific mention of China.
In China, Christians who worship outside government-approved boundaries are driven underground, and their leaders are arrested and detained, while Uyghur Muslims, Tibetan Buddhists, and Falun Gong practitioners are subject to repression and intimidation.
The mission of the new office is to promote freedom of religion or belief, something the Canadian government is treating as a foreign policy priority. Chinese writer and democracy advocate Sheng Xue was among those invited to attend the opening.
If this message is transferred to non-democratic countries, including China, it will be a huge encouragement to people of faith.
Global human rights organizations have frequently identified China's Communist Party as one of the worst human rights violators in the world. In particular, the 13-year persecution campaign against the Falun Gong spiritual practice has created the largest group of prisoners of conscience in the world.
The persecution of Falun Gong has attracted the attention of the top leaders in the international community. I hope the international voice can play a positive role to stopping the persecution.
The Office of Religious Freedom will be headed by Andrew Bennett, a practicing Catholic and Dean of Augustine College in Ottawa. The office will focus its work on countries where there is evidence of egregious violations of the rights and freedoms of religious believers.